Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm finally here to get this video out about the benefits and uses for diatomaceous earth. And I have found places that have long lists of its benefits, but I'm just going to cover some of the benefits, and I'll throw out a couple other ideas that I'm a little bit skeptical about, but it would be worth looking into it if you're interested. And I'll also be talking about the ways you can use it and how I myself use it. So first of all, let's talk about what it is. So you can see it here. It's mostly white, very light gray in color, or beige even, but mostly an off-white is what it looks like. And it is a fossilized remains of phytoplankton and is very high in silica. So there's two types you can get. You can get food grade, which is what I'm going to recommend for all of the uses I'm going to be talking about, because especially when you're talking about using it internally for yourself or for your pets, you need it to be food grade. This is one of those things that it really does matter, because the non-food grade can actually be toxic to mammals. Now, diatomaceous earth is pretty inexpensive to purchase. I get a big bag of it that I'll link to down below, and especially if you have pets or farm animals and a garden, it's got uses for all of these things and is very beneficial. One of the things it's most known for is being a great insecticide. It's totally natural. So it really works on anything with an exoskeleton, and it basically just cuts up their outer layer and then makes it so they basically dehydrate, and if I understand correctly. So this can work on internal parasites too. So a lot of people will find adding the diatomaceous earth to their chickens' feed. So if you start seeing poop on your chicken eggs, that means they probably have some kind of internal parasite. You start adding that diatomaceous earth to their feed, and that will kill those internal parasites that they have. It can also be used externally for killing mites and fleas and other such things. So what I like to do is actually sprinkle it into the bedding of my chickens, the nesting boxes, and sometimes even sprinkle a little bit in with the dust where they're taking their dust baths, because the dust baths they take to help prevent them from getting pests, but if you got a little diatomaceous earth in there, that's also going to help too. That's just going to add a boost to their dust bath there to help kill any external parasites and pests. The same thing applies though to your pets. So if you have a flea problem, what I do is I actually have a special blend that I came up with on my own that involves neem powder, some homegrown yarrow that I powdered up, and the diatomaceous earth, and I mix it all together. I have a recipe video. I don't remember what the actual ratio is. It might be a 1:1:1 ratio on that, but I'll link to the old recipe in the description box down below. And you got to be careful though how you're using this. You just don't want to powder everything and have it floating around in the air, because it's not a good idea to inhale. Though you can ingest it, to inhale it, it can be hard on the lungs. So it can be hard on your lungs, your pet's lungs, and whatever. So just make sure that you use this carefully. And how I use it when it comes to being as a flea powder, I haven't actually had to use it in years. Cody hasn't had fleas in a very long time. He only got them once, and we managed to take care of them. But when he did get them, one of the ways I went about treating that was obviously washing all his bedding, then taking the bedding and sprinkling some of this in there and kind of rubbing it into the bedding, so that, you know, the neem powder is toxic to them, as well as the diatomaceous earth will kill them. So all those things are going to help, and that's why I mixed it together. But you could use just diatomaceous earth in that case if you want to. You could put it on your pet as long as you're careful. Again, you just don't want to make this cloud and have them inhaling it in. But if they eat it, it's fine. It's not going to hurt. It's actually going to be good for them. So you can actually sprinkle this on their food and have them eat it internally to kill any internal worms and other parasites. And then the same applies to you. And if you take this internally, it has more benefits than just being an anti-parasitic. It's also, because of the silica, it's really good for strengthening your hair and your nails, and it's also really good for boosting your skin health. It's very cleansing to the whole digestive system and the urinary tract. So, and as such, it will also help with many digestive disorders that you may have. It also helps control cholesterol levels and improve heart health. Said to be good for managing diabetes. It provides trace minerals if you're taking this on a daily basis. It improves your bone health, and that includes your teeth. It's very good for your teeth. It's also said to balance hormones and to help prevent dementia and Alzheimer's. That one I was unsure about, but I thought I'd throw that out there in case people wanted to check into that. I could see that possibly being because if it's good for your digestive health, a lot of the things that affect the rest of our body has to do with our digestive health. That could be our heart, that could be our brain health, that can be so many things. So having good gut health is important to help make everything else run properly. They have found there's a lot of things that go back to our gut health, and our gut health is constantly under fire because of medications and injections and so on and so forth, you know, genetically modified foods, things that we're breathing, things that we're getting in our water. So we've always got to make sure that we're doing what we can to boost our digestive health. Now, a couple other uses externally is you can add it to your facial mask and your scrubs. It can be very good for your skin, help scrub your skin and just give it a good boost from the outside in. So you might want to consider mixing it with the bentonite clay. When I make a clay mask, I use bentonite clay. I love bentonite clay. It's very, very good for the skin. But you can try, I haven't done it yet, you could try adding some of the diatomaceous earth to that. Some say you can use it for brushing our teeth. I tried it by itself. People have asked me a lot of times, well, can I add diatomaceous earth to my recipe, to my tooth powder recipe or toothpaste? And I'll link to my most recent one down below. And yes, you can. If you're going to do that, I actually recommend nixing the baking soda idea because baking soda can be abrasive and so can diatomaceous earth. I think combining the two can just add to the abrasiveness. So you don't want whatever you're using on your teeth to be too abrasive. Some abrasiveness is good because it helps to clean the teeth, but too much can be a little too harsh on your teeth. So getting a good balance matters, and that's why I have a recipe where I don't just use baking soda, because some people find it to be too harsh anyway. But I did try brushing with just the diatomaceous earth by itself, and it does work well. And you don't get that more burning kind of feeling that you get with baking soda. So some people who are sensitive to baking soda might find they like the diatomaceous earth better, and then consider combining that with the bentonite clay, which has lots of great minerals. That's also which is also going to give it a smoother texture, as well as the starch that I use in there, and whatever essential oil you want to use. And then you can also use diatomaceous earth in your garden to help kill and prevent pests. However, you got to keep in mind this is going to be harmful to the bees as well. So if you're not wanting to kill off your bees and butterflies and all your other beneficial insects to your garden, I recommend using it with care, very, very carefully. I don't use it at all, in fact, in my garden when it comes to that, just because of that reason. I want to make sure that we're protecting our pollinators. Let's come back to taking it internally. It's recommended that you start small and work up to a teaspoon per day. And yes, I agree with that, not going any higher than a teaspoon per day. But you also, just like with anything else, and I found this one out through my own experience, though you can take it daily. Some of the places I read, they act like you can just take it daily all the time. But I found it's not a good idea to take it daily for long periods of time. You need to give your body a break from it. So maybe take it daily for a week, and then take a week off, and then take it daily for a week, and then take a week off. Whatever works for you, or even just take it every other day. So what I found for a while there, I was taking it every single day. And I don't remember, it was several years back, and I don't remember how long of that time frame was that I was doing it. And after a period of time, I found that every time I went to the bathroom, my urine had a very odd smell. I don't really know how to describe it. It was a strong smell, but not that strong urine smell. It was different from that. And I'd never had that before. And the only thing I could link it back to was possibly the diatomaceous earth. So I stopped taking it, and eventually that went away. Then I started taking it again on a regular basis, and sure enough, that started happening again. And what I think it is, because here's what you have to understand. Again, you know, we know this is fossilized phytoplankton. So the same things in there that will cut up insects is also what scrubs out your digestive system. Well, let's just think of this. If you're scrubbing, let's say you're taking a scrub brush, like one of those boar's hair bristle brush, and you're scrubbing your skin, and you're scrubbing your skin, and you keep scrubbing your skin, and you keep scrubbing your skin. At first, it might be good. You're scrubbing off the dirt, you're exfoliating the dead skin cells, and so on and so forth. But what happens when you keep doing that, and you keep doing that? You're going to make it raw. And that's what I think happens if you're taking it internally on a daily basis, that eventually what happens is it gets too much, and it starts making things raw in there. And I think that's what that smell was, because it makes sense when I think about how it smelled. So you got to really be paying attention to your body, because just like with anything, just because something is good for you doesn't mean you should overdo it or just take a whole lot, because somebody even said something about taking too much black seed and it causing health issues. That should apply to anything. Now, I had a video that came out recently. It was my part 1 and my random thoughts to ponder that I'm going to link to down below. And it's in regards to using natural things as remedies and how we need to approach it. Just like with anything, you got to understand when you're using anything for medicinal purposes, it doesn't matter how healthy and natural it is, too much can always be harmful. You know, there are some things you can just take a lot of and it doesn't hurt you, but there's quite a few things that if you take too much of it, it can be harmful, even if it's the most healthy, beneficial thing there is out there. So it's just, you know, the same thing applies to pharmaceuticals. Just because a pharmaceutical is going to be good for you, or an ibuprofen, which those things are never good for you, but just because it kills your headache doesn't mean you're going to take 10 of them every single day. And you shouldn't be, because it's going to be harmful to your health. The same thing can apply to natural remedies, even though they're healthier than any of those over-the-counter drugs or prescription pharmaceuticals. You can still get too much. So always make sure that no matter what you're implementing into your diet, no matter how healthy it is, always listen to your body. Everything should be very balanced. It's not like God said, here's some kale. That's all I want you to eat. Just eat nothing but kale. What's going to happen? Your health is going to deteriorate. It doesn't matter how high in minerals and other great nutrients kale has. If that's all you're eating and you're eating it in great quantities, you're going to have health problems. You're going to have gut issues. You're going to have all kinds of other health problems. So you got to look at everything that way. Even drinking too much water can, though it's very, very rare it happens, drinking too much water without anything else to go with it can be deadly. It's like I said, it's rare, but if you flush out all of your electrolytes and all your minerals and all your vitamins, you're going to be very depleted. And so everything has to be done in balance. So I don't bring that up to scare people from drinking water, because most people don't get enough. But I use that as an example to say it can happen even with the safest, most natural thing out there. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on the diatomaceous earth and a few things that you can use it for. Now, what I'd like from everyone else, please put down below if you're using diatomaceous earth for yourself, your pets, your family, your farm animals. How do you use it? What has it helped with? And just give us some tips and ideas that we could implement in our own lives as well. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.